Alright, so today is harvest day in our garden. It's a beautiful day outside, gorgeous weather, no humidity, maybe 70 degrees out here, a little windy out here, but we're gonna get out here and harvest our potatoes, our onions, garlic, and lettuce with chard. Check out my previous videos if you want to learn more about how I grow, plant, and harvest potatoes and onions. I got a couple of videos that are on there that I've done in the past. Give you a lot of details, more information on that if you're interested. So let's get harvesting. Alright, so real quick, let's take a closer look at our potatoes here. As you can see, the plants are dying back. They are more than ready to be dug up. Once your potato plants start to die, it's time to dig them up, no matter if they're diseased or what. Nonetheless, they're dying back, and hopefully we have some potatoes under here because we've been having quite a bit of rain. Even this week it's rained several times, which is not ideal. I'd rather the soil dry out just a little bit to harvest, but as you can see, these plants are dying back, and it's always fun to harvest things under the soil because we never know exactly what we are going to get. As you can see, some of my onions have started to flower, which is not a good thing. I don't think they did very well this year, mainly because we didn't buy very good transplants. I'm gonna pull all the onions that have flowered that are not going to store very well. And if we come down here, there's a handful of onions that may have done just okay enough to get somewhat of a size of an onion out of them. So we shall see how these look here. Since they have all just about fallen over, as you can see, that means they're time to pull. They're quite small this year. No big deal for us. We'll eat these pretty quickly. These onions here, these are the yellow onions. They are not falling over and they're not flowering, so I'm gonna leave these in the ground a little bit longer and see how big I can get them to get here. Got some grass growing in here, a few weeds, get that cleared out, and I'm going to let the onions that have not flowered and have not fallen over, I'm going to leave those in the ground for a little bit longer. Alright, so I got all the onions picked. As you can see, not very successful, mainly because of us planting our onions about a month late than when we should have planted them, and we got a bad batch of almost dead onion sets. But that's fine, we got plenty here for a little bit of something. I didn't plant that many onions this year anyway, so these will be great for roasting. Good job. Get that one. You can taste it first. This is fine. Alright, here is our harvest of our garlic. Just got it all dug up. Not too bad. I waited almost a week too long. It's been quite a bit of rain, so they were pretty saturated in rain. Could have harvested them a little bit sooner. Some we'll have to use as green garlic. They won't be good for storing, but here is our garlic harvest for the year. This was store-bought garlic, actually, that we bought at a local grocery store and planted first time. Did not do as well as a certified seed garlic. I would highly recommend you not buy grocery store garlic. This is organic garlic that we bought and we planted. And we did get garlic nonetheless, but about 50% of our garlic that we planted did not come up. So here is what we have from our garlic this year. So I want to show you real quick. I'm harvesting our old Swiss chard. This is a plant. I just dug it out right here. It's been over a year in the ground. Here's some of what I picked, the younger tender leaves. Anyways, I want to show you the plant, how massive this thing was in the ground. I mean, this thing was huge. This is just one little piece of it. This was 2 plants here, and so this thing was pretty old and big. And so now we have some much younger Swiss chard plants here that will have plenty there to pick from as well. So we're going to get rid of the older Swiss chard plant, and we have obviously much more. We just planted this early in the I guess it was late winter, early spring. We planted this Swiss chard here. So out with the old, and we got new growing. Alright, that's all for me today on harvesting. So we got all of our potatoes dug. Wasn't the best year because of all the rain. I like to let these stay overnight. Then I'll put them in a 5-gallon bucket, rinse them off, and let them dry very well, and then they'll be good to store for a very long time. We'll probably not store them very long because they're not that many, but they didn't do as well as all of our other years. This is probably the least successful year we've had with potatoes, but still a sizable amount compared to what we actually planted in the ground. Come up here, we got our onions. I'll tie these up and hang them up and let them dry out, as well as our garlic. We'll let those dry out and eat those up as well. So there's a little bit there, and then of course we got our Swiss chard. I just dug up the old plant. Let me just show you a little bit of what we have also ready to harvest or about to harvest really quickly throughout the garden. Alright, so our green beans, they are coming along. You can see we have green beans on the plants here, flowering everywhere. Those will be ready soon to pick. Our cucumbers are growing very well. They are loaded with flowers as well. And then this is a Chinese long bean that I've planted. As you can see, it's growing up the trellis here, and it'll continue to grow up the trellis. And then a whole bunch more cucumbers that are just loaded with flowers. I've kind of helped them come along with the trellis here. Some were spreading out on the ground, so I kind of trained them up a little bit. Over here in our tomato bed, I got some that are just now starting to ripening here. This is a yellow plum tomato. So I'm going to pick these 2 right here actually. They're ready to go. These are the yellow plum. I think it's the first year we grew these. These are a little bit bigger than a grape tomato. And here is our squash bed. They are now starting to produce flowers. Just a couple of days ago they didn't have any flowers on them, as you can see. And if they get pollinated by the bees, we should have squash. There's a little bitty squash right there growing. Take a quick look at a few peppers we got on the vine. These are the Poblano peppers. Come this way. We got some more peppers growing here. And They're just continuing to grow all the way down here. Our cilantro here, we got to start, I guess, harvesting this. We eat it and trim it as we go, but this last plant down here on the end is already starting to bolt because of the warm weather. So the cilantro will be coming to an end fairly soon. We'll replant this in a few months for the fall garden once summer is over. Alright, so thanks for watching. That's all for today. We got quite a bit harvested out here. A lot of weeds cleaned up, and the garden is looking very well coming along. We'll start getting a lot more tomatoes and peppers off the plants, and so make it a great day. Good luck on your gardening expeditions, and until next time.